You're shopping in Whole Foods when you remember everything is cheaper at Trader Joe's. Welcome to the Sidebar. I'm Clint Myers Novak, filling in for Sebastian Morales, who is currently reading Hop on Pop to his dying father-in-law. Leslie Fogleherst is a volunteer writer for Oprah Magazine with his article Easy Fixes for What and Who Ails You, giving readers new age remedies for old age problems. Leslie, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Now, to kick us off, I think it would help myself and everyone listening. What do you consider a new age remedy? What's the kind of class of remedies you're dealing with? Because I myself have a few stones and crystals that I keep at my house, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So yeah, the stone and the crystals I would consider to be in my school of practice. Usually with the old school, it's like you have a headache, you take an aspirin. Now I say you have a headache, you maybe eat a donut, and it makes your headache go away. Your donuts have a lot of healing properties you might not know about. They got stuff in the frosting, and then the dough that'll just heal whatever ails you, you know.
Now, I understand that donuts have a lot of sugar in them. Is it the sugar that powers it, or is it just the thought?
The sugar's part of it, but mostly it's the love. That's put into every donut. Every donut contains a little bit of love.
Yeah. And are there any specific, I know there are some bakers and donut shops that put more into it. Krispy Kreme's, for example, is bereft of love.
Yeah, there's no love in a Krispy Kreme donut. No. You gotta really make sure you're getting like a nice artisanal, handcrafted donut if you want the most. There's a little bit of love in a Krispy Kreme or a Dunkin' Donuts donut. Dunkin' Donuts obviously has more love in it than Krispy Kreme, but you want an artisanal handmade donut that's got the most love.
Now, if you were to make a donut yourself at home as a home remedy, what would the recipe be?
Oh yeah, so probably some flour, some baking soda, maybe some blood, and some sugar, some powdered sugar.
And the blood, of course, ups the iron count that you can get from the donut.
Yeah, and the love. It takes a big heart to really put your own blood inside of a donut just to help people.
I mean, that's actually very noble of you to be able to give your blood literally to help other people.
Yeah.
What other kinds of uses does blood have? There are a few things that I want to ask you about that.
Well, blood. Oh yeah, blood. Blood's a definite home remedy. If you have a sore throat, if you just drain the blood out of a steak from the supermarket and drink all the steak blood, that'll fix your sore throat.
You just take a steak from the supermarket? That seems like that would be against some sort of rule in the supermarket.
Well, you gotta buy it.
Oh, right.
You can't just take it. I'm assuming that you're buying these things. But if you need me to include these sort of steps so you would pick it up off the shelf and you would walk down the aisle, maybe get some other things you want to buy, and then you gotta decide, do I go to self-checkout? I usually go to the register because I like to have a nice conversation with the woman behind the counter,
The people at the register are usually quite nice, and they are looking for it.
Yeah, they're nice.
Now, you are the remedy master, Leslie.
No, I don't. I'm not a master, but I know some stuff. You don't need to suck my dick about it,
I wasn't meaning to suck anyone's dick about anything, but
that's nice.
You are better equipped for this than I am, so I'm just gonna run through a few things that I have had in my lifetime, and some home remedies that I know the common cold has a lot of home remedies. What would you do?
Oh, yeah, well, a lot of people, the old school remedy would be to take a decongestant or like a cough syrup sort of thing. I think, in the modern day, though, we like to do stuff like maybe Hot Pockets. You take a good Hot Pocket, you don't eat it. You take several Hot Pockets and you lay them across your throat. You make sure they're hot and they're still in the silver packaging thing that you put in, you make it crispy in the microwave, and you take like 30 of those and you lay them on your throat, and they'll get rid of your sore throat right away.
Our beloved researcher, the intern Addie Harper, she's
a great girl. Yeah,
girl.
I've been emailing with her back and forth.
And she actually tried your Hot Pocket remedy, but as we all know, Hot Pockets come either as frozen bricks or steaming hot lava. And the Hot Pocket opened up all over her chest, and she now needs multiple skin grafts.
Oh, no, that's a shame. That'll happen sometimes if your Hot Pockets are too hot.
Yeah.
But actually, if you need a skin graft, a remedy for that I've used before is a roasted chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You just peel the skin right off a roasted chicken and you lay it on the wound, and you on top of that you paste Nutella and you hold the chicken skin down with Nutella, and it eventually becomes human skin.
It eventually congeals to your skin.
Yeah.
Is fish skin, scales? Is that?
No, you can't use fish skin for anything except testicular injuries. Fish skin will heal a ball sack real good. I got a tear in my ball sack climbing over a fence in 1983 when I was... My old job, I used to set houses on fire for people. I don't like to talk about it. That's why I go by Leslie Fogleherst now. That's my pen name.
I'm sorry. You used to set buildings on fire.
Yeah.
Well, with a history like that, how did you get into remedying? How did you get into home remedies? How did you?
Well, I spent a lot of time in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just we don't have a lot of medical facilities in prison. Unless you stab somebody, then they'll fix you up. But we gotta fix all our own problems, And it's like you got a sore throat here. Let me put a Hot Pocket from the commissary on there, and I'll make it better.
So you became the doctor of the prison.
I was kind of like a prison medicine man, yeah, like a Dr. Quinn,
like a shaman,
prison woman,
like a shaman of the
yeah.
jail.
I don't like to suck my own dick like that and to go shaman, but I would say medicine man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you met any medicine men or shamans? I will go back to that word. It's the word that most commonly I think of, and from other regions.
Yeah, my buddy Jimmy Teeth used to sell crack. People really like that in medicine. Crack actually has a whole bunch of home uses that you might not even think about.
I generally don't think of crack as a home remedy. It's a very dangerous drug that gets people caught into a cycle of violence and dependency.
Well, yeah, but so do a lot of prescription medications nowadays, and crack is about on par with anything like an Advil or a Monostat.
I would hope that Advil and a Monostat wouldn't be the equivalent to crack, but what?
You'd be surprised. Yeah, there's a lot of, crack's got a lot of uses. You can, say, for instance, you got an ingrown toenail, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you get a bunch of crack and you give it to, like a young boy to smoke. They gotta be under 13. And they take a hit of the crack pipe, and then you stick your toe in their mouth, and they blow all the crack smoke on your toe.
Oh.
Ingrown toenail's gone in just a couple of hours.
So the fumes from the crack invade the infection and pull it out.
Yeah, I believe it has something to do with the acetone used in the refinement process in Colombia, and then when it's cut with baby aspirin, when it comes back here, the baby aspirin and the acetone react together in like a very home medicinal sort of way.
Fascinating. I did not understand that crack actually had beneficial properties.
Oh yeah.
Are there other drugs similar to crack? For instance, cocaine. How can that be used for a home remedy?
It's surprising actually, because cocaine, there's something that happens in the crack manufacturing process that makes it a little bit more here. Like cocaine is about a 30% success rate, as where crack would have a 90% success rate in most of these.
So you have to go for something pure, something that really just gets in there.
No, quite the opposite. The cocaine is more pure.
Oh.
The crack is
Okay.
baking soda and baby aspirin in it.
Right, of course. So ecstasy might help.
Well, yeah. Ecstasy's really good for urinary tract infections.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I start peeing and it hurts, I just jam like a purple dolphin up my urethra, and it just kind of soaks in there, and somehow I just don't feel so bad about my urinary tract infection anymore.
How exactly do you fit something up there?
In my urethra?
Meaning the urethra. That seems
Well,
very uncomfortable.
it takes practice. You gotta, you start small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just start with like a pipe cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you just use your stick pipe cleaners up my urethra, and then from there you move on to like a pencil, and then like your finger, and then like a big thick Sharpie. And now I could fit a fucking unicorn in there if we really wanted to, but I wouldn't put an unicorn in my penis unless I was trying to conceive. That's actually for impotence, not for not being able to get an erection, but for not being able to impregnate a woman. You're sticking the unicorn up your urethra.
Is that another home remedy?
It is, yeah. That's a more
see.
ancient one.
All right.
That I picked up from my time living with the Sioux Indians.
Oh, all right. Something in the America heartland, as it were.
Yeah, after I escaped from prison, the Sioux Indians took me in, and I lived amongst them in secret for a number of years.
Is that part of where you perfected some of your home remedies? Because you learned a little bit from prison, and then you seem like a man of many different cultures.
That's really the only one I got from the Indians. They mostly use stuff like Advil and, Monistat and Robitussin and, more traditional medicines. I'm into newer stuff.
You see, when I was covering Hurricane Sandy in my Pulitzer Prize-winning turn as a journalist...
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you. I saw multiple people using crack in order to buffet themselves against the hurricane itself and other drugs.
That's another actual benefit of crack. Crack makes you more buoyant.
Oh.
If you smoke crack in a flood situation, you'll probably get out of there because you're going to float better than somebody who doesn't have crack smoke in their lungs.
That actually sounds... Because the smoke itself raises you up. So much of your home remedies that we've talked about so far seem drug-related.
Just mostly the crack
Just
one.
Mostly the crack, of course.
Mostly the crack
And
one.
you've been in this game for a while. I mean, you used to... as you say, you were into arson, for lack of a better term. In the 80s.
Yeah, I'm not very proud of it, but they used to call me Matches.
Oh, okay. That's if you have a nickname, then you must have some street cred, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I guess you could say that. Yeah.
And what exactly did you've been in the game for so long, I'm sure politics has created a problem for you. What did the Reagan era war on drugs that has been going on actually since the 80s, how does that affected your supplies and your remedy channels?
Most of my remedies include stuff like Hot Pockets.
Oh, okay.
It's only every now and then in a rare scenario like somebody's drowning when I make them smoke crack.
So it's more of a upper life or death situation.
Yeah, it's like an adrenaline shot to the heart sort of thing, but it's more just for drowning people, mostly.
Yes, okay.
It has other remedies, as I've talked about, but mostly drowning people is the best.
So if I were in Pamplona running from the bulls and I felt like my slow friend couldn't make it, I could just inject them with crack and just all be fine?
See, that's like a standard use for crack, That's an older use for crack, which actually it's not as good. if you wanted to run really fast, the key is to eat a lot of pasta.
Okay, I see.
Eat like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds of pasta. Wet pasta, not dry pasta. You eat all that pasta, and then you'll be able to run real good.
Now, I have to ask because typically pasta is seen as a carb that weighs you down, but are there certain types of pastas that are better? Angel hair?
Oh yeah. Like an angel hair will make you better at boxing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to eat a lot of angel hair before you're in a big boxing match. If you want to win a bicycle race, you gotta go for rigatoni.
To get the spinning effect.
The spinning like tube thing. Ravioli is actually good if you're missing an eye.
Oh.
It's not really an athletic thing, but if say you lost an eye. And you just got a cavity in your face where your eye used to be, and there's like a hole in there. You just if you put a couple raviolis in it, and then if you take a Sharpie, you can draw a pupil on it. And nobody will even notice that it's just ravioli in your eye socket. My buddy Bobo in the pen did that for about 5 years.
That seems... Was he must have been a very convincing artist to have done that.
Oh yeah, he's a very talented soul.
Now, for our list,
Bobo, yeah, he was in there for he murdered a lot of people, but he's a gentle soul, that Bobo.
I mean, usually you don't murder and gentle souls don't usually go hand in hand.
Oh yeah, I mean they do occasionally, like I'm sure you've killed people. I've killed people.
No, I have not killed.
You haven't killed any people.
I haven't gotten close to killing anyone. You have?
Yeah.
I think something that our listeners could use are remedies for something that's a bit more pressing to the masses. So something like depression will be a remedy for that.
Yeah, depression's a big problem. That affects a lot of us, Well, that's actually another one. If you're depressed, you can drink vodka. But the key to do it is you do it through your eyeballs. Because the eyes are the window to the soul. And if you pour vodka in a window, you fix it.
That seems like a lot of pain to go through.
Oh yeah, it's painful. Your eyes are gonna burn. You're gonna cry, but you cry a lot from the vodka being in your eyes. So then, when you're crying because your family left you, or because you're unsuccessful, or because you lost all your money, or whatever's depressing you, just general depression. It could be nothing. You're just depressed anyway. You just pour some vodka in your eyes. Suddenly it does. The other problems don't matter as much as the vodka in your eyeballs.
So it's more of a distracting technique to take away from the rest of it.
Maybe. I guess you could say that. I would say it's a remedy.
All right.
Yeah.
And another more pressing issue for the younger generation, ADD is on the rise. What's something that could be used?
ADD, that's that attention deficit disorder. Well, there's also ADHD. So
yes,
ADD you can fix with Snicker bars.
All right.
You gotta use a lot of Snickers, though. You gotta feed your kid like 35 Snickers bars a day. And then they're not gonna be able to not pay attention to stuff,
35 Snicker bars a day?
Yeah, it's a lot. But they'll definitely save it, yeah.
Now, I think the FDA actually suggests to have maybe a half a Snicker bars a day. I know.
Yeah, that fucking FDA. I've had a lot of bad with the FDA, and I do, Yeah, I don't like that FDA.
You and the FDA don't get along, I'm guessing. There was actually our beloved researcher, the intern Addie Harper, has informed me that there was a lawsuit between you and the FDA
Yeah.
in 1997.
Yeah, that was the second time I ended up in prison, yeah.
Yeah, actually, because in prison there were, you don't have a lot of resources, so you have to come up with some replacement remedies.
Yeah, that's true.
A common remedy for a cold or flu might be chicken soup, but you had to come up with something else. What was it exactly?
It was rat soup. And it's actually a rat soup enema.
Oh.
Where you take the soup, you cut your couple rats, and you gotta pluck the eyeballs out too. Because if you get the rat eyeballs in the stew, it'll ruin it. But you keep all the hair and the feet and the rat tails are very important. But you scoop out those eyeballs, and then you put a bunch of rats in a pot with some carrots and a little celery and some. Do you know how to make a rat broth?
No, I don't actually. I'm mostly just interested in the typical chicken broth, beef broth. I assume it's similar.
It's similar. Yeah, it's a process. You gotta use last week's rats in this week's rat broth. So it's a cycle. You gotta keep catching a lot of rats. Yeah.
Now, would you just get these rats around the prison, or do you have pet rats?
There's a lot of rats in the prison, but now I breed rats as part of my. I got a lot of rats that I breed and use for different remedies.
And rats breed very quickly. So how do you keep population control down? Do you have rat fights?
We do hold some rat fights occasionally. Yeah. Right. Have you ever been to a rat fight?
I've been to a cockfight, and it was one of the more disturbing things I've ever seen.
It's similar. You know how you put the razor blade on the chicken's foot and it slices at the other chicken's neck. Rats have little hands, so we make little knives for the rats. And they're actually pretty smart. They'll just pick up the knives. Sometimes they dual wield. They got a knife in each hand. And then they stab each other. And it gets pretty gruesome.
Did you have a rat favorite that you used?
Yeah, I named him Champy.
Champy.
Yeah, right. But not because he was a champion, because after the monster in Lake Champlain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's that actually makes very little sense. I'm going to be quite honest. But,
well, I'm a big fan of cryptozoology too.
Oh, really? I didn't understand that was you are a multifaceted man.
Yeah, I'm an arsonist. I'm a cryptozoological researcher, and I'm also into home remedies.
That is quite the life. What is, just out of curiosity, what is Champion's record that he held?
It was Champy, and he lost his first fight immediately. But he had a lot of heart, and he really, I made him into a stew, and I put him in my butt, and he made my cold go away.
Now, how exactly do you prepare a rat in fighting?
How to teach it to fight.
How do you
and it's a lot different than when you're preparing it for a stew, because they need the eyeballs to fight. Yeah. You gotta wait to pluck the eyeballs out.
Until they're dead, of course.
Until they're dead, yeah. So the first thing you gotta do, when you catch the rats, right? You gotta just stare them right in the eye and look them in the eye and say, you fuck, don't you? You gotta pump them up. You gotta make them feel good about yourself. You're like, this rat fucks, right? Yeah. You show them the other rats. You're like, this is a handsome rat, right? You'd fuck this rat. Everybody here'd fuck this rat. And you gotta just do stuff like that. I build up its ego, take it to some parties, introduce it to some other attractive rats and stuff. And then that's just stage one, okay? After you kind of build up the rat's ego, the next stage is to kind of take it to the gym.
All right. Kind of like in Rocky, having the montage of training.
Yeah.
Do you have a rat gym that you have at the jail?
Yeah, I usually take some twine. I put them around their shoulders and I tie them to an RC car. And they pull the RC car through the snow,
And then you also chase them with the RC car?
Yeah, if they're not doing a good job, I run them over with the RC car, and that tends to get them pretty angry, too. Because that's stage 3. So stage 1 is building up their ego. Stage 2 is kind of physical training and endurance. And stage 3 is breaking their soul.
Okay, in order to prepare them to fight to the death.
Yeah, so you do stuff like, the attractive rat that you pointed the rat at earlier. You're like, this guy fucks, he's a handsome rat, right? You take that attractive rat and you fuck it in front of him.
Oh.
You gotta hold his eyeballs open like in a Clockwork Orange, so he can't close his eyes. He's gotta watch as you fuck this other rat in front of him. And then between that, the building up of the ego, the physical training, and the breaking of the ego, then you got a prize fighting rat.
Do you ever pit the rats against other animals, or is it just rat to rat?
Yeah, actually, yeah, sometimes, but you gotta use more than one rat for it to be fair. Sometimes we have them fight mice, like one rat would fight 3 or 4 mice.
You have to balance out the weight.
Yeah, you gotta, I'd say it takes about 433 rats to kill a man. But I've done it. It works. It's, if you want to have rats fight a dog, it's about 170 rats you need to fight a dog.
That's more than I thought it would be.
Usually 2 rats per pound of animal.
All right.
You just do the math.
Oh, that's actually very interesting. Now your time post prison, because the last time you went to prison, you got out in 2004, and you haven't been back since.
No, I haven't been back. No, they don't know where I am. That's why I go by Leslie Fogleherst now. They don't know who Leslie Fogleherst is.
Right. How did you make your way to Oprah Magazine?
Oh yeah. Well, we don't have a lot to do in prison. I read a lot of magazines. My favorite magazines are the ones with girls in them. The girly magazines with the pictures of women, like strong, empowered women that are doing interesting, creative things in the world. That's the sort of stuff that really, gets my rocks off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. And so, Oprah being arguably the most powerful woman in the world.
She's a magnificent, beautiful, amazing person. We've met several times. She used to be in prison with me. Back in the 80s when her name was Carl.
Her name was Carl.
Yeah. Well, she didn't get a gendered reassignment. It was kind of like Boys Don't Cry or Mulan sort of thing, where she was pretending to be a man in a man's prison.
She was undercover, almost.
Yeah, well, everybody said, we don't believe you could do it in a man's prison. And she's like, I'll show you. I'll strap my boobs down and go get a haircut and go by Carl. And I'm gonna Mulan this bitch, which is huge for the time because Mulan hadn't even come out yet.
It hadn't come out for another 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, no.
And this was one of her first actual beat jobs as a local news anchor in Nashville.
Yeah, she was undercover as a Nashville reporter in prisons, reporting not mostly on prison conditions, which were terrible. She was there covering the Rat League.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I understand that she had some problems in prison that you had to tend to. What are some of the specific home remedies you used?
Well, I was the only one that ever knew Oprah was a woman when she was in prison. So it'd be like, I got my period. What do I do? I'm in a man's prison. What do I do? And I'm like, I know how to do this. So I took some tortillas. And you take it. This is actually, if you don't have any tampons, you take a tortilla and you fill it with cigarettes, and then you roll. Cigarettes were expensive in prison, so you can't do it a lot.
Cigarettes
you
are
fill
currency.
a tortilla with cigarettes, and then you can just, that works the same as a tampon. Tampons, as you don't know this probably.
I had no idea.
They're mostly made out of cigarettes and tortillas anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are the tobacco and the nicotine kind of soaks up the blood extra well? Is that?
Yeah, and then the nicotine aids in the healing process.
I see.
You know.
And then you also, I would think that by putting it up inside of you, you would also absorb the nicotine and the tobacco more quickly. So it's almost as if you're smoking while soaking up your period.
You gotta keep smoking too while you're doing it. It's part of it. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you don't know about cigarettes. Cigarettes will cure most of what ails you. That's part of why I'm on your show.
Mm-hmm.
I got a new book coming out called Cigarettes, the Modern Medicine.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so like, say for instance, you have postpartum depression. It's a different type of depression than the type you would normally fix with vodka, pouring in your eyeballs. This is the sort of thing where if you smoke 5 to 6 cigarettes at a time, not like back to back, but at the same time, you get 5 cigarettes in your fingers.
Your mouth?
Like that.
Yeah.
5 cigarettes, it actually will, you do that 4 times a day for 3.5 years, and you'll get over your postpartum depression.
I think you would also get cancer.
No, cigarette. That's a myth perpetrated by big cancer. You know.
I mean, I think the entire last 50 years of research, there was even a show about it, Mad Men, where it was proven that cigarettes can cause.
So that's where you get your medical information from, Mad Men?
Well, no.
Mad Men is like, you know, anything you gotta do. You're like, oh, I got a headache. Oh, what does Don Draper says? He says to drink Coke. Well, he's wrong, because you should drink Dr. Pepper if you have a headache.
I mean, really, what he does for headaches is drinking whiskey, which is actually what I also do. But that's
also, if you hit your kids, that helps too.
That's besides the point, but that is what that show says. However, I do take issue with the fact that cigarettes are dangerous. And I'm assuming, but you sound like you're a smoker.
But yeah, I smoke a lot of cigarettes, yeah.
Now, how do you have a home remedy for quitting smoking?
There's absolutely no reason to ever quit smoking cigarettes.
Cancer is a big reason, and big
like
cancer.
I said, big cancer. That's a myth perpetrated by big cancer. If you actually, not cigarettes, but if you smoke clove cigarettes, not regular cigarettes, but clove cigarettes, and somebody, you have to cut a hole in the skin above where the tumor is, and you stick like a bendy straw in the hole, and you blow clove cigarette smoke at the tumor and shrinks it.
Or you could go to a doctor and get an X-ray or
but that's the old way of doing things. You know, we're all talking. This is new medicine. Stuff people haven't really tried out in the real world. Stuff I learned in prison. Stuff I learned.
New age, old school.
New age, new ways to fix things. They're always, all these big medical corporations, like big cancer, they want to sell you all these pills that supposedly fix your problems. But you can just fix erectile dysfunction with, some cold brew coffee and a little apple cider vinegar. Again, you have to pour it in your pee hole, but it does it.
Okay. Actually, since we're going that way, some other diseases that can be healed with your sort of remedies.
Well, cigarettes are a
big
huge one. Yeah, huge one. I don't want to give away too much because I want people to still buy my book.
Of course.
Cigarettes, the Modern Remedies. But, I can give you a couple of them right now if you need.
I think if we're talking about big cancer, how about big AIDS?
Big AIDS, yeah, big AIDS. Well, AIDS is real. That's not fake like lung cancer. AIDS is a real thing that people get, but you can treat it by actually sharing needles. It's actually, people think that that's how you get AIDS, but
That is exactly how you get AIDS.
it's one way that people say you get AIDS. But if you share enough needles and then you get other people's blood in you, you could just inject other people's blood into you, but really the homeopathic method is to have a little bit of other people's blood on the end of a shared needle, just repeatedly jabbed into your arm. And then eventually, over time, that'll get rid of your AIDS.
Leslie, that is literally how AIDS was spread in the first place.
Yeah, again, that's a myth perpetrated by big AIDS. I'm not saying AIDS isn't real, like lung cancer is not real, okay? I'm saying they just want to sell you all this expensive AIDS medication. You ever see Dallas Buyers Club?
I have a great movie.
I'm a lot like Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club.
I mean,
that's pretty much me. Okay.
He's more for knowledge of AIDS to share knowledge with people. And
Yeah.
you're just saying that people should stick needles into each other.
Yeah, but I'm just talking from practice, from what I've seen in prison, what I learned with the Sioux Indians. I did attend Harvard Medical School for a little while, but I dropped out.
All right. That's how long were you in Harvard Medical School for?
I did 7 of the 8 years, and I left in my last year. Yeah.
I mean,
to pursue an internet startup company.
And just out of curiosity, what company was this?
It was called The Facebook.
You were involved in the first iteration of Facebook?
Yeah. It was my idea to rate women based on their attractiveness.
Oh, that makes sense.
Me and I call him Zucks. Me and Zucks, we used to just like sit in Boston Common and be like 9, 7, 3, and he's like, there's something to this, and I was like, yeah, you know what's up, what's up.
He was ahead of his time. Some of your remedies are...
Yeah, back to my remedies. I got a mysterious past. I don't want to dig too deep.
Now I want to dig deep if that's what you're going to leave me with. It seems you have a lot of overlap with powerful people, Oprah, now Mark Zuckerberg.
Oprah and Mark Zuckerberg are both personal friends of mine. Yeah.
Do you come into any clashes with any, I'm talking about coming into conflict?
Between Mark Zuckerberg and Oprah? Not really. They get along, They're pretty cool with each other. We all hang out together on my yacht.
Oh, you have okay, so with your yacht, do you have any,
Yeah.
What's the name of your yacht?
The name of my yacht is called Firebug.
Firebug.
Yeah.
And how exactly? I'm guessing you got this through your job on Oprah Magazine.
No, it's named Firebug because I bought it with the money I got from burning houses down back in Boston in the 80s. Before I went to prison, I put all the money, invested in a yacht, sent it to the Cayman Islands so they couldn't have it taken back to the United States.
I see.
And then I mostly live on a boat now, yeah. I live on my yacht.
Are you currently in the Cayman Islands?
No, currently I'm in the WBUR studios in NPR in Boston.
Oh, all
yeah,
right.
I'm actually sitting next to my friend here, Marco Warman, host of The World.
Oh, well, hello over there, everyone.
Hi.
Nice to...
That was Marco. He's here, yeah.
That's an interesting... It's an interesting life that you lead.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that you... It seems that with all these crusades against big cancer and big AIDS and cigarettes, you might come into... do people get mad at you? Does Red Cross ever come after you?
Yeah, I'm constantly at war with the Red Cross.
At war?
Yeah, well, I apply a lot of my remedies to people on the street, you know. I like, somebody's got AIDS, I jab them with a needle like 150 times with different people's blood. And the Red Cross is all up in my shit about that sort of stuff. You know, they're trying to stop me. The police and the Red Cross, but the Red Cross are also very concerned about it.
I mean, that seems like if you're going around in almost vigilante style. Just
Yeah,
jabbing
that's a
people
good way
full-
to put it. I'm like a vigilante medicine man, yeah.
All right, so I feel like that would be a bit dangerous to the public, just jabbing people with needles.
Well, I only jab people with AIDS with
okay.
needles who ask me to jab them with needles to cure their AIDS.
You have a costume when you do this. It's a bright yellow leotard, and it has a few different articles of clothing. There's a big pink cowboy hat and a green shawl that you wear. What is the meaning of this outfit?
The yellow leotard and the pink cowboy hat and the green shawl. Well, the yellow leotard kind of symbolizes urine and gold, which are two very powerful healing properties. Gold, not so much. Urine does a lot.
All right.
The pink cowboy hat is to kind of show my support of the homosexual community in Texas, because it's hard for them. They need a lot of support. People don't like them that much, and I feel like I gotta show support. In the green shawl I found on a bus.
Oh, okay.
So I just wear it now.
It's just something that you picked up, a bus shawl that just kind of helps you to do vigilante good for health.
Yeah. Well, I also got the end of it soaked in a little bit of chloroform. Sometimes people don't like my remedies. They come to me, they're like, I got AIDS, and you just stab me with needles, or, I can't get an erection, so you're pouring stuff in, you're pouring cold brew coffee and apple cider vinegar inside my urethra. What are you doing? Then I gotta chloroform them. So I take the end of the shawl, I rub it on their face, they pass out. I put them in a barrel. I bring them down to the river, and I usually just throw it in the river.
You just throw people passed out into the river.
Yeah, I put a life jacket on them. So.
Oh, okay.
And I don't seal the top of the barrel. There's like a little bit of oxygen there. Eventually they wake up. They get out of the barrel. They got a life jacket on, so they float to the top. They may not know where they are or how they got there or anything like that. But they I'd say 30% of them live.
30% is not a very high number.
Yeah, but it's like some of them.
That is 7 in 10 people who just die.
Yeah, well, they were gonna die if they weren't gonna accept my medical help anyway. So I'm kind of just, moving along Mother Nature's process.
I mean, you seem like a man of expedience, if anything.
Yeah.
You have many interesting ways of dealing with diseases. Do you travel far and wide to pick up some of your supplies? Do you use do you use your boat, the Firebug? Are there any
Yeah, you take I take my yacht around the world usually. And what I do is, since I've been to prison a couple times, I usually find like a local boy.
Okay.
And I pay him a little bit of money to maybe like stab somebody or steal a car or something, so he gets thrown into prison. And then once he's thrown into prison, he's kind of like my inside man. I'm like, so how are the guys in the Philippines fixing their foot fungus? And he's like, oh yeah, you just pour some Sprite on your feet and your fungus is gone. And I'm like, oh yeah, I write it down. I put it in my book. And, usually sometimes I help get the boy out of prison and goes in there thinking that I'm going to get him out of prison. But a lot of the time it's just cheaper and easier to leave them in prison.
So you just sink someone into prison?
Yeah, to just get information from them. Because if I go back to prison, that's a third strike for me, you know?
Then you're just stuck there forever.
Yeah. So I can't go back to prison again, unfortunately. I'd like to go back to like learn some things, do some research, see some friends, you know. But if I go back, they're not gonna let me out, and I can't publish books from prison. I can't help other people outside prison, you know. So if I'm in prison, it's a kind of just limiting. But I like it. I like going to prison.
Are you used to prison? Is the prison world your home at this point?
It's my home away from home, you know. I need to. Sometimes I took a page from Oprah's book, and I tuck my penis back into my butt, and I hold my boobs up, squish them together, you know, and wear some makeup and get thrown in a women's prison under a false identity when I'm just bored. You know,
just for fun.
Just as like a little pick me up. Like, I like prison, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's just nice.
What you were most recently actually in prison, in a Chinese prison. You were going there for, I believe,
I'd gotten a little Chinese boy stuck in prison in China, so I could. The Chinese have a lot of ancient medicine, but they also got a lot of new medicine, you know.
They have some rice concoction of opium that.
You mix opium, rice, and cheeseburgers together into like a paste. And if you rub that on your eyes, it cures macular degeneration, actually.
Wow. So basically you found with rice and cheeseburgers, you essentially have salt.
And opium.
And opium.
A little opium, yeah. I don't like to use as much opium or crack in my medicinal practices, just because it's so expensive, you know.
That's fair. That's
like
fair.
Cheeseburgers and rice, they're cheap, but the opium, adding opium to that mix, it all of a sudden is not as affordable for everybody.
I understand.
Yeah.
I actually, back in the early 90s, had a bit of a cocaine habit myself, but it really racks up a pretty penny.
It gets a little expensive. Yeah, that's one of the better things about crack too. Never mind that cocaine is less medicinally effective than crack. Crack is also cheaper.
Oh, that is.
And
that
it
is
goes
nice.
to your head faster.
Yeah, you've been to a lot of different prisons around the world.
Vicariously.
Vicariously.
Myself, I've been in 2 prisons under my own name, and I've had short-term stays in women's prisons under various different names, maybe 15 times.
Oh.
But that's always for like a couple months to a year, maybe. Usually a couple months.
What are some of the differences between men's and women's prisons? Is there anything like men's and women's bathrooms? Because I know women's bathrooms are much cleaner and nicer.
Yeah, there's couches in women's prison. You know, where all the urinals would be, there's usually a couch.
Oh, all right.
A lot less people get raped.
Fair.
You know, other than that, they're pretty much the same.
Pretty much, there's no like the sauna. The guards aren't nicer. There's nothing.
No, I'd say if anything, the guards are nicer in a men's prison than in a women's prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you know, in a men's prison, you got to worry about the prisoners doing stuff to you.
Oh.
But in a women's prison, you gotta worry about the other things. So I had to suck some dicks, you know. But it was all just part of the game, part of protection, you know. Every now and then, you gotta just suck a dick.
Every now and then, you gotta suck a dick to stay alive.
Yeah.
That's just a way of getting through.
Yeah, everybody's gotta do it at one point in their life, you know. I'm sure you've sucked a fair amount of dicks in your day.
A couple. What are some of the remedies you have for lockjaw or some semen getting stuck in the back of your throat?
A lockjaw, so like you would get from tetanus?
Something like that. Or
a lockjaw you get from tetanus. You could treat it with semen, but actually, if you have tetanus, the best thing you can do is eat Kleenex.
A Kleenex.
Yeah, and if you have lockjaw, it's hard. You gotta grind the Kleenex up in a blender into like a paste, like a little bit of water. You like suck it through between your teeth, and that'll really get rid of it. Yeah.
That seems really, did you come up with that on accident, or how was that?
Yeah, actually, it was by accident. I had a bunch of Kleenex sitting on my kitchen shelf above my blender. And I walked into my kitchen, I stepped on a banana peel, and I slid into the cabinet, which knocked all the Kleenex into the blender. And I was flailing my arms about, going, whoa! And I hit the button on the blender, and then it blended up all the Kleenex. And then I just tried it on a guy.
That's just putting Kleenex straight into someone's face, just blended, just right up in there. I mean, as long as I knew it was Kleenex, I'd try anything.
Yeah, I mean, he had lockjaw from tetanus, and he was like, so I was like, why not just try this Kleenex thing? I whipped up in the kitchen, and it worked. It worked real good.
So, Leslie, what are some of the things that are coming up next for you? What are some remedies you're working on now?
Well, I got
what
my
could
book.
Be seen in the next issue?
I got my book coming out about cigarettes.
Yes, of course.
I'm still writing for Oprah Magazine. I'm actually writing one about rats. My next article for Oprah Magazine goes back into some of the rat fighting stuff that me and Oprah used to be into. Just how to. A big part about rat fighting is breeding the rats too.
Of course.
So you gotta get the rats to fuck each other, which isn't always easy, because a lot of the time they just whip each other's throats out and they're fighting over garbage and stuff. So a lot of it is like mashing them together like a Barbie doll and a G.I. Joe. You just gotta, be like, you're the boyfriend, you're the girlfriend, and just like smash them together real hard. And sometimes they they pregnate the other rat. Sometimes it works.
So you're smashing rats in your next issue.
Yeah, well, it's partly about smashing rats. It's mostly about the rat breeding and medicinal properties of rats, like a rat chicken soup, a rat soup enema, stuff like that. That's for my O Magazine article, but my book is about the medicinal properties of cigarettes, which hasn't been released yet, so I can't tell you too much about it. But
you're still under NDA of some sort.
Yeah, well, I just most of these tips are like how I make my living, So if I tell you, for instance, that like you have angina and like smoking cigarettes through your butthole is gonna fix your heart problem, then I'm lost a chapter on my book that you're not gonna read anymore, Right. Yeah, so like smoking, I won't talk too much about smoking cigarettes through your butt and all the sort of good things that it can do for you, but there's a lot.
Well, you heard it here first. You should smoke cigarettes through your butthole.
Or don't buy my book, and then smoke cigarettes through your butthole. Don't just do it, because you won't have the knowledge that I've imparted to you in my book about. You just go around smoking cigarettes in your butthole willy-nilly, it's not gonna go anywhere. You got a specific way to do it.
Leslie Fogleherst?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Next week on the Sidebar. If construction workers don't whistle at you while you walk by, aren't you really just ugly? I'm Clint Myers-Novak. Thanks for stopping by.